history, no dictator or oppressor has ever succeeded in subjugating a people without using some amongst those they mean to enslave. When Europeans came to our continent, they used some of our chiefs and farms to cement our fate, transporting thousands of our African brothers and sisters through some stormy seas, distant shores, toil, and the toil from dawn to dusk, plantations. During this time of our fight to actualize our independence, we see some chiefs and farms who are supposed to be the custodians of our traditions, helping the Bulu Beti occupiers perpetrate crimes against the people they are supposed to rule and protect. You know, the people of Ambazonia have always respected the sanctity of life, even extending that noble creed to the citizens of its tormentors and moderns. We have never encroached into their territory, killed their people, because our fight has always been to reclaim our country, Ambazonia, from their terrorist country, not to kill their citizens, even as they stay mute and unmoved when their brothers in uniform rape, torture, humiliate, kill our people every day. They go about their business in our territory because we have been a tolerant people. The question is, how tolerant can one be without looking stupid in the face of such barbarism from the Republic of Cameroon? How tolerant can one continue to be when some of our chiefs and farms connive with our enemy to kill the people they claim to rule? How tolerant can one continue to be when it is so clear that the life of a Francophone in our territory is worth more than that of our people to the terrorist occupying government and some of our dubious farms and chiefs? How tolerant one continue to be when some farms will mourn the death of occupier sympathizers and turn a blind eye when their own people are massacred every day? Fellow Ambazonians, I want to thank you for your respect for the sanctity of life. The interim government has always advocated respect for international conventions. But will this interim government be able to stop the people from taking matters into their own hands in the face of such crime meted on them by La République du Cameroon and its Franco-Bulu Beti citizens? I don't know. I personally believe that the people have come to the realization that to La République du Cameroon, everyone of Southern Cameroon's origin or descent is armed and marked for death. My brothers and sisters, never be ashamed of that name, Amber. It is a good name. We are all Amber. And if we were not, why does La République du Cameroon make no distinction between ordinary citizens of Ambazonia and our restoration forces who carry guns? Why do they kill everyone in their way as they insanely run around in our territory, Ambazonia? So, those of you who look the burden to free Ambazonia as that of the restoration forces alone must ask yourselves these questions. If La République du Cameroon says it has lost 1,450 of its terrorist soldiers in Ambazonia, don't you think that is because we do not kill their citizens as they do ours? Now, we have lost about 50,000 for our people. Let's say La République has killed about 3,000 of our restoration forces. Who do you think the other 47,000 people are? They are our citizens because this is an evil, calculated attempt to kill us all. It is a genocide. I believe that if those 47,000 people had some kind of weapon to defend their communities, that number would have been smaller than it is. If we had a relative practical proportional response to La République du Cameroon's aggression on and murder of our citizens? Don't you think it would have saved the lives of thousands of our people? Well, if you are angry enough, draft, and drift. Goketunja needs to sharpen its sword. Let our fallen heroes and heroines guide and shield our men and women. Let their ultimate sacrifice be the reason we change the game and give our enemies what they have been giving us. Ambazonia needs to protect its people from the terrorist troops of La République du Cameroon. The time is now to do just that. If you want to see a free and naturalized Ambazonia, then you must pray that La République du Cameroon experience your pain. My brothers and sisters, I end by saying this: Bulu Betty terrorist regime in Yaoundé. Don't mistake Ambazonians for your weak people who sit and watch you take everything from them while they live in squalor. We have restored our independence, and that is it. Leave our country. If any chief of farm wants to join you, let them do so. You know, not too long ago, there were no presidents in Europe. Even America was ruled by a king 3,000 miles away from its shores. Some of these kings ruled 2,000-year-old kingdoms because they abused and betrayed their people. Their kingdoms are now republics with presidents at its hand. So, those of you who wear crowns on your heads must remember that your crown is not a license to connive with our enemy kings. We will not be ruled by traitors. We cherish our tradition and those who are custodians of that tradition. But if you are a chief of fun, be good fun or chief to your people. Stop betraying them. Those who are systematically killing them and burning their homes and villages. The word to the wise is sufficient. Those chief and farms who have chosen to remain neutral or stand with their people, we say thank you. Ambazonians will remember that you did or what you did or did not do as we sacrificed to be free. Ngoketunjia, today is your day. May God protect our restoration forces. May our people seize the courage to deny La République success in their evil scheme and desire to kill us. May the good Lord give you the courage to pick up arms and defend your communities. Because La République doesn't only kill restoration forces. La République du Cameroon has marked us all for death because they do not make a difference between you, the population, and our restoration forces. You will agree with me that unlike the restoration forces, you are the soft target for La République du Cameroon. You, our people, because you have decided to be without anything to protect yourself. So let them all walk with a bullseye on their forehead as they come into our territory to kill you. I mean this. Ambazonians, stop dying. Protect your communities. If you have a village of 300 people, there is no reason why you cannot have 100 guns in those 300 homes. We have seen situations where La République du Cameroon comes in with 15 soldiers and burn all your houses. How can they walk into your community with 15 soldiers and burn 15, 20, 30 homes, and you all cry without any action taken? Please, Ambazonians, our men and women started this war with 10 guns. You don't have to own an AK-47 to protect your family. Pick up anything you can afford to pick up and defend your communities and your neighbors. That is a clarion call from me personally to your vice president. I am tired of seeing you die. protect your communities. Every one of you on home front is a target for La Republic to come from. They will never, ever make a distinction between you and those who have carried guns as restoration forces. They will continue to kill you because your life means nothing to them. God bless the Federal Republic of Amazonia. And thank you very much for giving me the chance to speak to you today. Have a good draft in Ngoketunjia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. VP. Always eloquent. Thank you a lot for your very passionate speech. Yeah, I think like you said, Amazonians are not angry enough. If they want to really say they are angry, if they want to prove they are really angry, then we will see that today. It will be reflected in this draft today in Goketunjia. So thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. I will call now on Mark Harrow, our distinguished Mark Harrow, to introduce the President. Mark Harrow, are you in the house? Can somebody make her co-host if she is not co-host?
I don't know. Can't see her. Can you see her?
Yes. Yeah, Caroline iPhone. She's the one.
Can you make her host?
Yeah, she's co-host. Let me try and unmute.
Yeah, Mark Harrow, unmute. Unmute, Mark Harrow. You are muted. Oh, okay. It seems she can't unmute herself.
Mute.
Oh. Oh. Mark Harrow, can you please unmute? Yes. You are unmuted, but I don't think we can hear you.
Makaro, check your sound.
Mr. Chairman, if Mark Harrow cannot mute, I think you should move on. Resource mobilization. We're waiting to drop Ngoketunjia so we can stay on.
Okay, it looks like she unmuted.
She did?
She's unmuted, but we can't hear her.
No.
Can't hear.
No, wanted our top lady to introduce the President, VP. Let me see.
Can you please call and ask her to maybe exit the Zoom and come back in? Maybe it's not this photo.
Yeah,
I think she's working from the. I think she's on a phone. That's why she's having difficulties.
Well, she can log in and come back in. Maybe it will be better.
Yeah. She's back. We are sorry for the delay. We have some technical issues beyond our control. see Mark. Okay. You can unmute yourself, Macaro. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ngoketunjia. Please, we are very happy to have everybody here today in Goketunja. So, my fellow Ngoketunjans and myself, we would like you to join with us to welcome an adopted son of the soil and the president of the Federal Republic of Amazonia to his own county, to his home, Ngoketunjia, today. So please join me to welcome our president, Dr. Samuel Kome Sako, to Ngoketunjia today. Thank you.
There is honor, glory, with the Amazonia, pledge and loyalty. Praise the Son and Savior who granted us our freedom, and let the children heroes who bought this land with your blood. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Yeah, in our nation, for him we make our money. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making a nation and joy forevermore. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Amazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
The president should be spotlighted.
Honorable Speaker of the Interim House of Representatives, Dr. Winnie Lobati, the Chairlady of the Ethics Committee, Madame Dorothy Ngwa, the Chair of the Judicial Commission, Barrister Timothy Mbesa, the following close collaborators of mine in Central Administration, Mr. Frank Cheney, Secretary of State, Department of Self-Defense and Security, Dr. Martin Mungwa, Secretary of State, Department of Communication and IT, Dr. Ndula Tom, Vice Chair, Amazonia Ethics Commission, and all members of government here present. Dr. Amos Tumenta, Coordinator, Ngoketunjia County, Chair, Babisi Local Government Area, Comrade Klotchi, Chair, Ndop Local Government Area, Comrade Andy, Balikumbat Local Government Area, the Honorable Dr. John Titanta, IHR Representative for Babisi, the Honorable Otto Tiali, IHR Representative for Balikumbat, the Honorable Ernest Bo, IHR Representative for Ndop, the great people of this county, supporters of Ngoketunjia County, fellow Amazonians. Thank you all for honoring our invitation to this annual humanitarian endeavor today. This is humanitarian because we are here to help our families who are the victims of a senseless genocidal war to have the minimum they need to stay alive and defend themselves and their communities. Anybody who deceived or who was deceived that La République du Cameroon genocidal regime is regaining control of our territory, or that some kind of normalcy, as they call it, is returning, was in a shock a week ago when 15 civilians were massacred within a span of a couple of days in Bamenda, 5 in Abango quarters, and 10 in Nacho Junction. That is not how a return to normalcy looks like. Such acts of desperation are reminiscent of the Ngabu massacre of 2020, the Mother Teresa massacre, the Mautu massacre, the Pinyin massacre, the Big Babanki massacre, the Kona massacre, etc., where the cowardly La République du Cameroon thuggish genocidal regime has wasted many of our loved ones with gross impunity. Only a dullard would think that the denial of the Nacho Junction massacre by the colonial regime is different from their previous denials of responsibility for the above registered atrocity crimes in Amazonia. They deny they perpetrated these crimes but refuse visas to investigators and will not welcome a fact-finding mission to get to the bottom of these heinous crimes. Why are they scared of independent investigation of these massacres? They plant fabricated accounts in their state-sponsored newspapers. They forcefully disappear eyewitnesses and pay lobbyists in Washington and big media to whitewash their crimes or cast the blame on Amazonia. We know how many extra miles the Yaoundé colonial regime has tried to turn our people and the international community against us, despite the mountain of evidence of their genocide on our people. Unfortunately for them, they are dealing with a sophisticated Amazonian populace who understands the playbook of the enemy and an experienced international community that should master all the gimmicks of the annexationists in a war of occupation like this one. We have resisted French Cameroon, these barbaric genocidaires in our territory for 62 years, but more actively for the past 6 painful years. At no point in time have our valiant Amazonian Restoration Forces turned their weapons to target foreign civilian nationals residing in or visiting our country. We are not unawares of the fact that some Amazonians and non-Amazonian civilians are used as informants, facilitators, or infiltrators by the occupation forces of Paul Biya, thus putting this vulnerable population in harm's way. All these inhumane efforts have not yielded the fruits they desired. Our valiant ARFs have stood the test of time with a commanding presence, especially here in Goketunjia. But out of frustration, the République du Cameroon criminals in uniform have doubled down on their strategy of attrition, this time with a focus on innocent foreign nationals. We vehemently condemn this very dangerous trajectory chosen by the special Bulubeti militia that wants to turn some French Cameroon ethnicities in our country against Amazonia. We saw this first with the attacks on the Bororos in Dogaman, and now it is on the Bamili case. Earlier today, July 22, 2023, we learned that at the Quartier Ewondo in Yaoundé, a family of 10 southern Cameroonians, Amazonians, were slaughtered in cold blood by so-called unknown gunmen. And I submit to you that this is the handiwork of the same Bulubeti militia on a mission to plunge Cameroon into a civil war. We condemn this evil with all our might, and let us be vigilant, Amazonians, and know that wherever we find ourselves, it is our God-given right to defend ourselves with every iota of our energy. The interim government press release published a couple of days ago by the Secretary of State for Communication and IT, is clear on our position concerning these recent back-to-back massacres committed by La République du Cameroon genocidal hoodlums in our territory. They will pay for this genocide on our people, sooner or later. Let us observe a moment of silence in honor of one of our pioneers, generals of the ARF Ngoketunjia, Shaumao, who fell this year not by the hands of our enemies or enemy, but by the chilly hands of criminals within our struggle. Let's include all our fallen heroes and heroines, as well as the thousands of our compatriots who have been massacred by Bia's genocidal squads in Goketunjia County and the rest of Ambazonia. We still have the recent Bamenda 15 fresh in our memories, massacred by the same French Cameroon genocidaires. A moment of silence, please. May their souls rise in solidarity with us as we labor to fulfill their desires. Fellow Ambazonians, there's no better place to be than in the great county of Ngoketunjia, when issues of self-defense and our collective resistance are concerned. This rock-solid county has provided a stumbling block to La République du Cameroon's existential onslaught on our people. The resilience of these compatriots of Goketunja can be measured by the sustainable fighting spirit of the brave Ambazonia Restoration Forces ARFs of this county. I once listened to an audio message on social media shared by one young, psychologically defeated La République du Cameroon thug who defected after wondering aloud what honneur and fidelité had to do with killing unarmed friends or neighbors in Ambazonia. Let me paraphrase an excerpt of what he said in his viral audio. He said, I quote, "Any La République du Cameroon soldier's nightmare is when he is assigned on a mission to Goketunja or a mission to Bui, passing through Goketunja. Even in armored vehicles, driving through Goketunja is like embarking on a journey to hell. You just don't know what could happen the next minute." This is the kind of psychological scare the valiant Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Goketunja have brought on the enemy forces trespassing in our territory to commit the pogroms we see daily in Ambazonia. And just yesterday, Friday, the enemy suffered yet another great loss of one of their multi-million armor cars in Bamisi. We salute our relentless warriors for their bravery and steadfastness in defending their turfs and resisting the enemy who wants to annihilate our people and enslave us in perpetuity. The success of Goketunja is because of the consistency and resilience of its leadership on the ground, despite efforts by the enemy and some Ambazonian dissidents to divide and rule. We have all witnessed the exemplary defense structure in this county, even when some brave fighters were manipulated and derailed by the enemy to create a counter force against the ARFs. Somehow, Goketunja still found a way to maintain her place and focus as a backbone of the people's self-defense architecture. My valiant Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Goketunja, thank you. Your selfless attachment to duty has negated the void that could have been left by some of your forces who were manipulated to leave your ranks. FM Sargon and all the other generals, commanders, and forces protecting our people in Ngoketunjia, we salute you all. Amazonia is closer to Buea now than 6 years ago because of your tenacity in battle. Citizens of La Republique have learned to pronounce the beautiful name of your great county, Ngoketunjia, because of its significance as the place of death for their ill-trained and misguided genocidal talks. And when the history of this war will be written by unbiased historians of this liberation war, the bravery of our ARFs in Goketunja will occupy a major part. Your military ingenuity in continuously refining your guerrilla war tactics, your contributions have even helped the ARFs fine-tune our national strategic security plan. And as Commander-in-Chief, I listened keenly to the concerns raised by your county defense executives surrounding the discipline, coordination, and delivery of the National Strategic Security Plan. My advice to the Ngoketunjia County after this is that after this draft, do not despise the son who remained at home, loyal to the family, and only shower your gifts on the prodigal son, forgetting that without him, there will be nothing for the prodigal son to return to. I assure you that most of your concerns are already being scrutinized by the federal level, by the federal government. The federal defense structures, as a matter of urgency, will liaise with your county and LG executives to help you when needed. Sons and daughters of Bamung, Dot, Babisi, Balikumba, LGs. As a people, especially those on the home front, you have shown steadfastness despite challenges brought by this senseless war on you. Despite some excesses here and there, you have been supportive of our cause. Thank you. That is why we can continuously mount this formidable resistance against the enemy with surgical precision. Even when one Cameroon CPDM elite serving the genocidal regime, including chiefs, tried to corrupt your consciences to turn your backs on our liberation movement, you have resisted. That's the spirit of all Ambazonians that Ambazonians should emulate. The vision to see short-term challenges as hurdles that we must cross to arrive at our collective ultimate destination, which is a free homeland, Amazonia, for us and generations to come. These challenges will appear in all forms and shapes, from the massacre of loved ones, burning of properties, being locked up in La Republique dungeons, being an IDP or refugee in a foreign country, being hated and blackmailed, or even being detained abroad, as some of our finest and freedom fighters are going through here in the United States. Please, they are detainees, not prisoners. Rest assured that the frivolous charges brought against them, engineered by certain CPDM paid operatives, shall not survive through the furnace of the American justice system. Until America starts convicting Ukrainians in America who are massively supporting their nation to fight against Russian annexation and occupation, no judge in America with a clear conscience will condemn any Ambazonian for supporting his people to fight against French Cameroon's annexation and occupation. If annexation is a crime against humanity, then it is a crime everywhere from Kuwait to Ukraine, from southern Cameroon, Ambazonia to Donbass. All we need to prove anywhere is that our case is one of annexation, and indeed it is. We will not be enslaved by an equal party in a non-existent union through fear, fatigue, lies, propaganda, or evil conspiracies. We are the never again generation, the all for one for all generation. And we leave no one behind as we continuously take on this fight against 60 plus years of annexation and recolonization. The IG under my leadership is leaving no stone unturned to make sure our brave people regain their freedom and enjoy their inalienable rights in their God-given country, Ambazonia. My dear financial warriors here present, let us get ready to draft and support Ngoketunjia County. We are the fuel that keeps the engine of the liberation vehicle moving. We are the actors that make freedom happen, not the vocal spectators who expect others to secure a place for them in a free Ambazonia without any sacrifices from them. Remember, the generation of Foncha cowardly passed on their responsibility to another generation. Should I call it the generation of Frundi? Then the generation of Frundi preferred a transaction with La Republic than our outright resistance and freedom. So they failed in their responsibility to protect and liberate us. They passed on their responsibility to us. Our generation must not pass this responsibility on to the next generation because La République du Cameroon has vowed that if we fail, there will be no next generation left to correct this error. They have decided to exterminate us once and for all. Let us do what we must do and let us acquire some more fuel tonight so that our invisible brigades of Ngoketunjia will continue toying with enemies' armored vehicles and their sorry occupants, so that we can tell the enemy that our destiny in this failed partnership of two equals is not in their hands. It's no longer in their hands. Let's contribute generously so that our valiant Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Goketunja can continue to have the support they need to defend our people and our territorial integrity. As I said during last week's draft, cash in hand is better, because pledges are only as good as nothing if they are not redeemed. If we decide to pledge tonight and announce a feel-good figure, we are deceiving ourselves. This is not a game, this is war. La République du Cameroon is attacking our positions right now as we speak in Goketunja. Let it be your responsibility to hold your pledge to your chest, but give Goketunja a down payment now, so that we can translate it into immediate action on the ground. Let the resilient people of Goketunja take the lead boldly, and we will follow. Our support mantra for every county is, to whom much will be given, much is expected. We are going to help you truly when you demonstrate the willingness and readiness to forge ahead. Let me thank you all in advance who will go the extra mile tonight to draft and support Goketunja. You are literally putting your mouth where your money is, because this county is one of the reasons why La République du Cameroon's declaration of victory is considered a straight-faced lie in the international community. Let the draft from Goketunjia County commence now. Viva our brave Ambazonia Restoration Forces of Goketunjia. Viva the great people of Goketunjia County. Viva the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. And God bless you for listening.
fundraising so that we go with the necessary equipment as well we can have enough